Hey guys, welcome to the Table Talk Radio Show. I'm your host, Tanisha Simpkins, and I am so delighted that you guys are on with us. Today is May the 6th. May the 6th. Seems like it's been a long journey to get to May, but we're in May, but May the 6th. And we are so
Can you hear
glad
me?
that you guys are here. I can hear you
Can't hear
fine,
you.
Lathosha. We are live, so I can hear you absolutely fine. Um, we have our guest here, Lathosha Alexander, who asked, "Can we hear her?" She's a therapist here in the South Florida area. We are, I don't know if we celebrating or awareness. I guess it would be awareness of mental health month. Well, I guess it could be celebrated, but some of us come a little ways to get to where we are. So that could be celebrated as well. The thing that I said is don't lose your mind. You don't want to lose your mind. You know, and mental health has a lot to do when we're talking about the mind itself. Um, I know that, especially right now in this pandemic, there's been, there's been, I guess, a cause and effect for, or as a result of, I can use their word as well, suicidal, depression, anger. You can jump on and give me some more, doctor. Anger, what
Anxiety.
else? Definitely anxiety. It's probably been the
Mhm.
biggest, and some people may not even realize that's part of
Right.
our mental breakdown. When it comes to anxiety, but the anxiety of everything that's going on around us, and we're so delighted to have you. Is everything okay, Latosha?
Can you hear us okay?
Now I can.
All
Okay,
right.
good, good,
Can
good, good,
Can
good,
you hear me?
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I know this
Okay,
is
great.
different, or
Ooh, that was a
different
challenge.
for a lot of people that we're doing viral radio, viral conferences, viral meetings,
Okay, you're
viral
going
game
in and out.
shows. Listen, virals hangout. Um, Mostly everything right now is viral. You said you're going in and out, so we can't hear you. Can you hear her, Dr. Teresa?
I can hear her.
I can hear you,
I can hear
Okay,
you.
good.
Oh, you
and I
good?
can
Okay.
hear you, Dr. Lee, but I
Okay.
can't hear
You can't
Miss
hear
Simpkins.
Tanisha.
I can't hear her.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can't hear Tanisha.
I think there's something with you all's
You can't hear
connection,
me now.
Tanisha.
You can't hear
Okay, so
me,
you can hear me and she can't, and I hear you clearly.
and you can hear me, Dr. Teresa.
I can hear everybody.
I don't know
Well,
what's going on, guys.
I guess we well,
I
how
guess
about
Let
it's
this?
me
me
and
let me
you.
and see what
Well,
happens. Can you hear me now,
Can't
Latosha?
hear.
When you get on this thing right now, everyone is on the internet, so a lot of things may run um, slow
a little
or
haywire.
just not at all
Yeah. That's
or
been one of
whatever. Let
the
me
running discussions you see on social media is how people are handling the virtual meetings. So the sound, the picture, people forgetting that they're not muted. So that's been the running joke this week. So I'm sure people are flowing with it because I saw so many people laughing under stories shared of meetings and things where
mm-hmm.
people forgot to turn off their cameras to use the bathroom or turn off their camera
Oh
while they
Jesus.
hold their child. Oh, hilarious. So, so be patient with us this week, people.
Please, I can hear now. Hello.
Awesome. So,
Yay.
oh, you
Okay.
can? Okay,
I
wonderful.
can
You can hear
hear.
me too? Okay, wonderful. So let's just get
Can't hear
started, guys.
Tanisha.
And guys who are out there, I do apologize, but make sure that you share, and like us. Let's get it started. Like I said,
Dr.
we're
Lee.
doing the month of May, which is mental health awareness.
Mhm.
mental health awareness. So I guess Latasha can hear me. So Dr. Lee will be kind of leading this thing, I guess, until we get into the second part of the session where we're doing
I can't
our
hear
hot topic.
anything.
So Teresa, go ahead.
I think she can't hear me now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll run with that then. If you don't mind talking to me just for a little while, is that all right, Lathosha?
That Latasha, and that's
Latasha.
fine. Yes,
Okay,
that's
Latasha.
fine.
My
I don't
bad. I
mind
told
talking to you,
Latasha.
Dr. Lee.
Okay, great.
I
Listen,
gotta talk to
I
someone.
yes, we can talk. That is fine.
Okay.
And listen, I apologize for the name mix up. I understand I get a lot of Teresa instead of Teresha. So please
That's
forgive me.
okay. My
But
mother did that to me. She put yeah, it's Latasha, but she put a H in there, so it's okay.
yeah. We both have creative mothers. That's all right. That's a blessing.
Yeah. And
So
guess what? Mine was a teacher.
really.
Yeah, she did that.
Well, I noticed from your bio that you have been a social worker for over 25 years. You have been a
Yes.
clinician for over 18. So I
Yes.
know that you bring a wealth of knowledge to this conversation tonight. So thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
again for coming. And I think more than ever, this is a conversation that just isn't being had enough with the pandemic. We're talking about how we can shield ourselves from being physically sick, but we're not talking about the side effects of the mental side effects that can come from that. And one of
Okay.
those is the social distancing aspect. So, social
Right.
distancing is supposed to help us decrease the spread of COVID 19. However, for some of my single friends, some of my elderly friends, some of my just regular around the way friends, that also looks like isolation for them. A lot of my extroverted friends are calling and texting all day because they're just like, I just need interaction. So,
Right.
my first question to you is, because social distancing is being promoted, how can we mentally maintain health when for a lot of people it actually feels like isolation?
Okay, so it absolutely is isolation. That's what it
Mhm.
is. It's no way around it. We have been doing the norm throughout our life of just being able to be close to people, to touch, to feel, to embrace when you see someone. And
Yeah.
now we're jumping back. We're stepping back. We're counting steps. You understand?
Mhm.
Um, and so social distancing is for some people, and let's just talk about cultures, because in our Haitian culture and our Spanish culture, we hug and kiss. You know, they grab that's the immediate greeting,
Yeah.
right? And so if we're not doing that and we're unable to do that, that's a learned behavior. We've learned how to embrace people, how to hug, how to kiss, how to, come in your personal space and be next to you. And now we have to now think about ways of pay attention and focus on ways to stay away from people. I'm in a grocery store and 6 feet's not enough for me.
Yeah.
So I want 10 feet. You understand?
I
Like
do. I
people are
understand.
arguing in the store about the amount of space. I was in the store the other day and a young man was like, you have to go back some more. And the line, it was past the line. And he was telling the lady she has to go back some more. But
Mhm.
that's that anxiety, that's that fear
Yeah.
that's kicking in. And so now people aren't people anymore, they're machines. We're
Hmm.
functioning in a way that we're programmed to function during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Now, social distancing, it increases isolation.
Hmm.
So, like you said, for introverts, it's okay. They love it. It's fine, right?
They're
Because they're
experts.
gonna
Yeah.
text and they're gonna be apart from you anyway. But for extroverts, it's killing us, right? So I'm a people person. So thank God I'm a therapist because I talk to people every day. So
Mhm.
even though we're practicing social distancing, I'm on the phone with my clients video every day, which is a good thing. Now, if you don't have anyone that you can spend time with, you need to start picking up the phone. And what I encourage my clients to do is, just because you cannot go visit a friend or go celebrate a birthday, pick up the phone. I've been on the phone with my friends and family, 7 of us on FaceTime. I mean, for 2 hours,
Mm.
And so even though we're social distancing, we can also create a social close space where we can
Okay.
create and embrace a circle of friends and family, it's still FaceTime.
Yeah.
They've given us all types of equipment, to love on each other, to be in your personal space. We just can't touch. You understand?
Yeah.
But for people that are depressed and people that are actually going through COVID and have to be isolated for 14 days,
Mm.
which I don't even believe in anymore. It's like 30 days.
Yeah.
Right.
Telling us to isolate for 14 days is a complete setup
Mm.
because people are still testing positive after that, and they're going back around their family and they're going back around their friends. Jobs that are not accepting them back would be the hospitals and corrections and places like that. But other jobs, they tell you quarantine for 14 days and go back. But
Mhm.
that's not happening anymore. We understand now that people are actually testing positive past the 14 days with no symptoms.
Yeah. So people who, even before this happened, were struggling with depression, anxiety, OCD. There's a number of social anxiety disorders that some may have publicly acknowledged and some may have kept it private. That's totally fine, either way. But do they cope? How can they deal when their anxiety goes up when you say, I go to the grocery store and like you, 6 feet doesn't feel like enough. So I usually do two of the lines instead of just one. I do because I have small children, so I don't want to bring anything home with me. So,
Right.
so for some people that creates more anxiety. For others who may feel isolated, it creates more depression. So what are some ways they can deal with that now?
Okay, so let's just talk about the people that were struggling with anxiety and depression prior to the
Hmm.
pandemic. So, for those that were struggling with anxiety, it tripled. Okay, so if you were already embracing anxiety and struggling through that journey, it tripled. For those of us that didn't have anxiety, we now have it. So now we know what that friend or that family member or that mother feels like
Yeah.
that had anxiety because we
Yeah.
have a taste of it. We're just on a lower level, right?
Hmm.
So imagine what you feel at the grocery store times three for a person that already has a high level of fear and anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the coping skills for that is it's really to face your fear. You know, you have to try to meditate more. You have to try to replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts.
Yeah.
And there's a good one that off record clinically. There's a good one that we like to say. If it's meant for you, you're gonna get it anyway.
Mhm.
So God got me right, but God also
Amen.
gave us wisdom.
Absolutely.
And so we need to use that wisdom when we make
Hmm.
choices to go to parties, to have parties, to invite people over because we're bored and we're tired of being alone. Because this alone could save our lives
Hmm.
ultimately. Now, as far as depression, it looks real bad. It's dark in there. For people that were already depressed, it's really dark. They're in a dark hole. And if you know someone that in your family that's struggling with depression, you really need to check in on them twice a day. And if you can't do that, you need to develop a team, which is a team of people in the family to get a day for that person.
Yeah.
So that's what I encourage, my clients to have their family members do that are struggling through depression. It's really dark. Suicide has tripled, and it's really dark. It's a dark place that you can't come out of alone.
Hmm.
And people really need to seek therapy. Now is the time for you to look on the back of your healthcare card and not only call your primary care physician. You need to be reaching out and looking for a therapist. It's more convenient than ever
Yeah.
because now you can do teletherapy from your home. You don't even have to leave your home.
Hmm.
So the information, go to the back of your card, behavior healthcare, contact them and find a therapist. Go to
Yeah.
Psychology Today, Therapy for Black Girls,
Yeah.
Boris L. Henson Foundation, Taraji P. Henson's Foundation,
Uh-huh.
therapists, they're there. Black therapists are there. So all the stigma, I can't find a therapist that looks like me, or they're not gonna understand me. You have a choice. I
Yeah.
don't care. As long as they're
There are
culturally
options now.
competent, you can choose whatever therapist you want. But if you're depressed right now, you need to find someone professional to talk to.
Hmm.
And if you know that you have a family member that's depressed, definitely make sure you you team up and you all are checking in on that family member every day. it's still going to be a private time for that person. So you got to do the best you can to keep them going. You
Yeah,
understand? And if someone's in a
absolutely.
home with that depressed person, don't allow them to stay locked up in a room. Go curl up in a bed with them.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll
Now
be
you
tired,
mentioned,
they'll be angry, and they'll try to tell you, give them their space, but just
hmm,
love on them anyway.
yeah. Now you mentioned family. So in covering all aspects of the family, some people that are watching today have small children, teenagers, preteens who are a little bit confused, who may be a little bit upset, and may even be experiencing some anxiety or depression of their own, but can't express it.
Uh-huh.
What are some tips you would give to parents? My kids are so young, they don't understand. So they keep asking to go to the park. And I even drove them past the park to show them the caution tape around it. And they're like, Mommy, get out. Come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So my kids are a little different, but there are some older kids who may have questions. What advice would you give to parents to explain during this time? Because we also have learned over time that the anxiety and depression for teens is real, and the suicide rate for teens is also real. So we don't want to dismiss them and say, oh, there's more important things going on in the world, or I don't have time for this. So can you give our parents a practical response to their kids' concerns?
Well, the practical response to their kids' concern is to be truthful with them. You know, to explain to them that we are going through a time in our lives that we've never experienced before. We haven't. You know, if other people have, we haven't lived through it. So
Mhm.
we're going through this together. We're in this together. Our teenagers are suffering. I have a 16-year-old. I also have a 30-year-old. So
Mhm.
I know from every aspect, and I have grandchildren, and I know my little one, my 5-year-old grandson, he's like, he wants to go, 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 go. He can go in the
Yeah,
front yard. That's it. My
yeah,
10-year-old granddaughter, she's stuck on the phone, doesn't matter. But my 16-year-old daughter, who will be 17 next week, is begging to have a party with her friends, at least four of them. And I'm
yeah,
saying, I can't give you a 17th birthday. This is not the time. And that
yeah,
hurts me because
yeah,
she's never not had a birthday for 16 years. So depression is real. You know what I did? I told her, listen, after the pandemic, whenever that is, we can celebrate your birthday.
yeah,
But for now, we can't do anything. So we'll figure out something to do outside, like what's the new norm that we see on TV. People can drive by, tell
yeah,
you happy birthday, stand in the yard, drop your gifts off,
yeah.
and so on. But beyond that, every day our children are suffering in the home because they're used to socializing at school,
Hmm.
right? So they're used to being in school, talking to their friends, enjoying their day, and now they're stuck in the house all day. They're eating, they're sleeping, their sleep pattern is totally off. They're up all night, they're asleep all day, and then they're jumping
Right.
up, hopefully getting their schoolwork done, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very, I have a few teenagers that I'm seeing right now that's dealing with depression because when children are already struggling with depression, which many are, right now it has intensified the situation.
Yeah.
So I would tell you to be honest with your children and let them know that this is out of our control. Like we really have no control over what's going on except ourselves.
Yeah.
We cannot control the neighbor. We cannot control our other family members. We can
No.
only control ourselves. And
Yeah.
so right now we have to adapt to this. This is like basic training one on one. Like we're in a fight. We're in a fight for our lives. And we're not sure that the information that we're getting is correct every day.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
they're teenagers. So they're gonna have to go through the pain and struggles that we're going through. They're gonna have to endure it. So it's two things that can happen with them learning how to endure this pandemic. They become stronger or it makes them weaker. What doesn't kill you or break you makes you stronger. But if you notice that
I
your
want to ask a
child is,
question.
yes. Oh, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you. Yes.
Oh, great, 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 wonderful. The
Good.
question would be for a lot of people who are home now or
Mm-hmm.
who are married, who are quarantined in the house. You're there for a lot of hours with your mate, which you're normally not, in the home with. Um, Psychologically, how do they? Because a lot of couples now are like, well, I like you, but right now I'm not really. I didn't know this about you. How can they keep things together or keep it peace in the home without getting on each other's nerve or feel like each other is just like not a burden, but just why are you here?
Okay. So, so I would say that they need to create some time together and then some private time, even in the same home. So I get the living room, baby, you get the bedroom, you know, or I get the bedroom, you get the living room. However it goes, they need to find their own personal time within the home as well as time together. You understand? So your question, what is happening right now is that we have an everyday life that we're used to living. We're working, we're coming home, we're cooking, and then we only get to see about 4 hours of each other before it's time to go to bed at night. So you don't have
Right.
to embrace that whole person or that whole problem or that whole issue that you avoid every day. Now that you're stuck in the house, if your mate is not working and you're both home, you got to embrace that issue. You got to embrace that problem. That
Uh-huh.
thing is looking at you. It's pointing at you. It's in your face. And now you're irritated. Now you're frustrated. Now you're trying to figure out, why have I been dealing with this? How am I going to deal with this? And now it's causing a big conflict in the home. So that's why you see so much of the, I want to say, domestic violence in the home. I want to say couples are actually separating, like there are men going to their mother's house or their brother's house, or women are going to their sister's house. And so this will really make you or break you.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage in a situation like that, um, a lot of prayer, to be honest, prayer plus therapy. If you were already going through something, just know that now it's intensified and you have to deal with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I
Because
have some couples
I
that weren't getting along and they're doing great. This is working for them. It's like
they
the
Yeah.
well,
total
they're probably getting
opposite.
to know each other. Because I can
Yeah.
imagine like conversations that you never had. You like, you
Yeah.
remember that time
Yeah.
this and or
Yeah.
that, hey, let's talk, and each person like,
Let
oh
me ask you
God, what we
something.
gotta talk about, or it's just like, remember in 19 whatever you
Uh-huh.
said this, and
Yeah.
it's just like so much idle time to you just start thinking of conversations,
Right.
I'm
Right.
thinking. And
Yeah.
then you have those men and women who are just alone. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm glad I have my daughter, you know what I'm saying? But those who just live alone,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
has to really be hard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not being, because you don't want to be so vulnerable to people, you know what I'm saying? Who are out there, especially if they know you're alone and know you don't have anyone specifically when it
Yeah.
comes to dating or whatever, because people realize, or they can see if you don't have anybody on Facebook,
Yes. Yes.
um, that they don't try you, you know what I'm saying? Because you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And that has to be hard, that the only voice that you hear in the house is your own voice.
Yeah.
It
And
sounds
it's
like
been
I hear you
almost
talking
2 months.
about safety.
Huh?
It sounds like I hear you talking about safety, safety and
Yeah.
secureness. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's an issue, the
Yeah.
well, I'm saying, like, the safety of others, but also the isolation of yourself,
Oh
you
yes.
know
People that
the
are alone.
isolation of yourself. If you already an introvert anyway, and you don't have anyone else in the home, it's just you know
Yes.
who's
Even
there.
introverts are getting tired of this.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah, because
actually
we're used
even
to the
getting tired of
face-to-face
this.
conversation. That's where we get our
Yeah.
energy. So I get a
Yes.
lot of video calls, a lot of Marco Polo. Uh-oh, my kid's ready.
That's okay.
Sorry. But the video calls, they get old. They get old fast.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys. I have
That's
3-year-old twins.
oh
So
my God. 3-year-old twins.
they're
Listen,
running
it
from
sounds
daddy.
like somebody fighting.
They locked the door.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was saying, like, like, just the
Okay.
fact of just being alone, and the isolation part, it has a lot to it. You hear a lot of people now saying, Latasha, by this quarantine, 45 days plus, I have a whole time to reevaluate my life. I got a
Yes.
whole time to think, thinking of regrets, or thinking of things that I should have done, or
Mhm.
things of that nature, and it puts them in a space of, like I said, of regrets. I was speaking to
Right.
someone, and this person was like, "Yeah, I should have did this. Oh my God!" And I was thinking, and I'm like, "Hey, don't beat yourself up. Don't put
Right.
yourself in a depression stage because you have a lot to just sit there and just think. You have a lot of idle time to sit there and think, and you know,
No,
depression is
I
real."
understand what you're saying. Depression is real, and it has been quite some time that people have been alone. So when you talk about people being alone, it's tough. It is very tough. Um, and nothing, confuses us more or sets us up for failure more than our own negative thoughts. If we allow negative thoughts to take power, they will win. But if we
Right.
begin to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts, then we can push harder. We can fight. When you're sitting alone and things are being said to you in your mind and you can hear it, you're not good enough, you're not worth it, you should have been more. If you talk back to those things and replace them with positive affirmations and positive thoughts, then you can kind of knock that stuff down. I am good enough. Look where I am. I made it this far. I can keep trying. I can keep fighting. I will win, you know? And those are things that we have to continue to do, because if we allow negative thoughts to manifest, then we get stuck in those thoughts because they lock us in, and they lock us into feeling less than.
Mhm.
And we don't have a lot of self-worth or self-esteem. And so we don't push and we end up giving up. And that's
Mhm.
not a safe place. And again, that's why I say people that struggle with these issues, whether it be depression, especially depression, let me just say that, really need to be receiving some form of services, because
Why do we
you really
wait so
can't.
long? I want to talk about us as a black race.
Uh-huh.
Even though the show is diverse and universal, but us as a black race, us who are here on here, why do we wait so long to seek help? I mean, a situation can happen with a death or divorce, and instead of just saying, okay, I need to get help, or our friends or family encouraging us, we'll wait until we on the last limb. We have already fell apart. It's 2 years later. What is it, or what can we do, or how should we handle this? It's probably like three questions. um of why do we wait to the last moment, or
The
why are we
main
not
question
doing it
that I'm
soon enough?
hearing is, why do we wait till the last minute to get help? Okay, one of the things is we're taught as children that everything that happens in this house stays in this house. That's one. That's instilled in you as a child in our culture, right? Anything happens in this house stays in this house. And our business is private. It's private. It doesn't belong to anyone. No one, it's your business. And shame is another reason. And another reason is people don't really understand, our people don't really understand clinical mental health issues. They feel like if they go see a therapist, that means that they're crazy. That means that they need to be in a crazy house. That means that they don't have control of themselves. And that's not what it is. The problem with our culture is they don't know what therapy is. They don't understand it. They stigmatize it. And for many years, we have said, oh, you're going to see a shrink. Even now, if I talk to an older person, I'll have clients that come in my office and they'll say, well, I told my dad or I told my mom I was going to a therapist. She was like, you're going to see a shrink? I'm like, do I look like a shrink? Do I
Mhm.
look like a shrink? Like in real life, I'm not a shrink. I tell someone I'm a therapist, and if they're old school, they're like, "Oh, she a shrink." No, I'm not. I'm a therapist. I'm a psychotherapist. Like I'm a licensed clinical social worker. That's it. I'm trained to help you get through the problems in life that you're dealing with. And on top of that, you chose a good therapist because I've been through
Right
so
now.
much that I know I can help you.
Come
So
on,
I'm going to
Tasha.
help you
Help them
get
out,
through it
girl.
because I was able to overcome. So
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in my chair with my glasses on judging you. I'm
Yeah.
literally sitting here like, dang, been there, boy. I understand that. Ooh, I
Yeah.
can relate to that. Oh, let me
Yeah.
help you through that. Oh, also, don't forget to pray. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's do this. You understand? So
Yeah.
I can provide you with the skills, and I have the personal experience of going through trauma and going through life's trials and tribulations where I felt like I couldn't come up out of it.
Yeah.
Nothing could save me, not money, not anyone, but God. And so that's how I know that if I can get up and keep going from things that I've experienced in my lifetime, so can you.
Come
I'm
on,
not any
Tasha.
better than anyone else.
Come
I
on.
have been through things as well. I'm not. I want you to understand that just because I tell them, look at my wall, just because you see those license and that certification and my degree up on that wall doesn't make me exempt from life problems. Like, not, problems don't say, oh, that's a Lathosha, let me go around her. Like, problems just look at me and say, she's a therapist, I'm going to go around her. No, they come head on. They come head on.
Yeah.
I'm just trained and skilled to know how to deal with them. And guess what? If I can't manage my own problems, every good therapist has a therapist. And if you don't have one, you better go get one. How about that?
I think
All
culturally
right.
also, we pride ourselves on being strong. We pride ourselves on being
Mm,
overcomers. We are more than conquerors in the name of
right.
Jesus. We hear it often. So I think that actually asking for help is a sign of weakness that we don't want to show. But I also find in my profession that people do ask for help. They usually give you some sign of wanting help, but based on your response or lack thereof, will show you how much further they'll go. I've
Right.
seen young mothers who say, "Oh, you have twins? Well, I've been having trouble with mine." And I realize that's their arm. That's them
That's their
reaching out.
cue.
Can you help me? But if you shun me and say, "Oh, a real mother would never complain," because I've heard that too.
Right.
A real mother would. So I realize that sometimes, particularly in our culture, we test the waters before we say, "Oh, well, to a Latasha," we would say, "Well, what are your degrees in?" Or they show interest in getting to know more about you before they finally admit, "This is
Right.
something I've been looking for. This is something I actually need." But can you speak to that identity of strength, that identity of overcoming, and how, while it's something to be proud of and something to wear, it's not something to mask? There's a difference between a t-shirt and a face mask. And I
Okay.
think for many of us, our pride in who we are and overcoming has become our face mask instead of a t-shirt, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
It makes sense. I think you're speaking to the superwoman syndrome.
Hmm.
That's what it sounds like you're speaking to.
Yes.
Um,
But
the
I wanted to
superwoman
say it
syndrome.
universally for men too.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like you're speaking to. And in regards to superwoman syndrome, that ability that we've grown and love to, we've walked around for many years, with our cape on, saying to other people, "I do this, 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 and I'm a mother." It was
Mhm.
fine, right? And we were
Mhm.
like, "And I do this, 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 this without a man."
Mhm.
And I do this, 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 and this, and I can handle it, right?
Uh-huh.
But on the inside, we're breaking down
Yeah.
because all of this, and this is tearing us up on the inside. It's tearing our body down. See, the body keeps the score. No matter what we go through, the body keeps the score. So we can have on superwoman capes and we can have an S on our chest and all of those good things. And we can believe that we're strong enough and that because we were Black women, we were built to endure a certain amount of pain. But we are not. Mentally, we were taught to endure and to push and to take on the responsibilities. We were never taught to say no. We were never taught to say enough is enough. We
Mhm.
weren't taught that. We were
Mhm.
taught to fight, to struggle, to go,
Yeah.
and to carry all the weights and burdens that come our way with
Mhm.
a smile. Don't forget to
Right.
smile.
Without complaining.
Don't forget to smile. So when it
Mhm.
becomes too much, you find yourself breaking down. And that's why
Yeah.
people have mental health breakdowns. That's why
Yeah.
people that's why one day you see someone and the next day they're completely depressed in a place where they can't get up or come back from. You
Yeah.
know, we have to take that toughness off, that mental toughness, that strong, cohesive, built, how a, I'm going to say we have a brick wall around us that tells us that we can't come out of it, but we can. We have to slowly start reducing responsibilities. That does not tell us that we're powerful because we carry so many jobs around and so many responsibilities around. That doesn't tell us that we're powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That
Right.
doesn't speak to our character. It speaks to
And
our
I and I and
strength,
I
but then our strength is being broken down.
right.
So it's a facade.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way for us to begin to heal that and fix that is to begin releasing responsibilities,
Oh, very good.
taking on less, letting go of things that we can't handle, and saying
Mm-hmm.
no when we want to say yes, and beginning to reevaluate what's important for us. Because what is important to us? We need to know what's important so that we only carry that. So we'll have some time to live, some time to love, some time for joy. Because we don't have it. We can smile and pretend, but if we're carrying all those responsibilities around, we don't have time to live, and we don't have time for joy, and we're not loving, we're maintaining, we're stressing, and that's what we're
And I
doing.
want to add one thing also, that we have to be. I always use this when I do group Bible study and so forth. And our thing is, we're never alone. And I, one of the things is, and I can go for my own self, just for a moment. What is it? 16 years ago, um, when we have to be honest with our mind, and I say our mind, honest with our mind, what it is that we need. You know what I'm saying? Honest that if you need help, you need help. If you need to speak to someone, you need to speak to someone, because we'll allow a situation, and especially a trauma, to happen in our lives, and we'll just, like you said, we'll perform at our best. It just seems that way. We'll perform at our best, with doing so much, but we never take that time to take a deep breath, or we never take that time to just sit down and think or reflect. Any type of trauma, the death or divorce, or a kid, and those trauma things hit you, and then later on you're realizing, you got PDS. Did I say that right? PDS, PSD.
PTSD,
PTSD,
post-traumatic
sorry,
stress disorder.
PTSD, syndrome, even like what's going on now. I wouldn't be surprised that so many people would have that, because of the fear and anxiety. And I just want us to be able to be conscious, to be nice, as they say, to our mind, to when we need to take a break, take a break. I had to learn that I would not take a break. When I took a break, when I was in the hospital. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Me
and,
too.
and I know that happens, Tasha. That happens so
Me too.
often.
I took a
Yeah, I
break in
take
the
her. Oh, yeah, I'm
hospital.
breaking now. Because I'm in the hospital, because we just refuse, like you said, Dr. Lee, that superwoman. I got it. I could do this. I can do that, and I could do that. When knowing that, especially a lot of single parents, knowing that you need help. You may not always need help, or financial, or whatever, but you do need help as someone to talk to. And I know a lot of us sometimes, like, I don't want no best friend and all this stuff here, but you do need a circle, maybe not a big circle, but a few people that you can chat with, and it's
But it's a
okay.
safety circle. You want to have a safety circle. You want to
Yeah,
have someone in your circle that you can go to for advice in business, someone that you trust, that you can look up to and can help you in business. You want to have a friend that you can trust with your personal business, that has proven to be trustworthy and you can dump. You understand? You want to have someone that can guide you in Christ. You want to have someone that you can pray with, right? And if
absolutely.
you're married, you want to have another married woman that you can contend with
Yeah,
and discuss your issues with, so that you're not all over the place. People say, oh, if you're married, deal with the problems in the home. Guess what? It doesn't happen like that.
that's a lie.
Everyone needs to be able to talk to someone, you
Yeah,
know? So
yeah,
you got to just have a small circle, like you said, a safety circle of trust. And if someone breaks that trust, you have to know how to let them go.
Right.
People are going to disappoint you. This is a thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want a friend," or "I don't have friends. You can't trust them," and all this stuff. everyone wants a friend.
Mhm.
Everyone wants someone to talk to. They just don't like what happened in the situation. So it
Right.
turns them off,
Right.
right? But we need a friend. Everybody needs a friend.
Yeah.
We can't do this alone.
Right.
Absolutely.
We can't do it alone. Friends will fail us. People will
Absolutely.
fail us.
Yeah.
Family members, parents will fail us. And we will fail them.
Hmm.
But we're human. So what expectation are we putting on people really when we're expecting for them to never fail us? Because we fail ourselves. Think about it. We fail our own selves individually. So people are definitely going to fail you. So you have to be careful what you put out there. And you have to be careful who you trust. And you learn from your mistakes. That's it.
That's it.
Keep
You
going.
learn and you
But
just
I,
keep it
I'm here to
rolling.
tell. That's it. Keep
Absolutely.
going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, it's been a great conversation. I
It
apologize.
is.
It's been a great conversation. I know we had some audio problems in the beginning. If you want to stay on, Tasha, you can. We're just talking about a couple hot topics that are going on right now. I know not well. Actually, this can go towards our mental health month and mental awareness. There's a video that's circling around in regards to the young man that was murdered in Brunswick, Georgia. And I keep seeing some people say, I don't want to see that video. And, some people are saying, I'm going to keep showing this video. Even some men, I saw a man say, okay, I done had enough, um, of the video. And I know right now it's making a lot of people angry, especially when these things, happen. You know, um, it does something to you, mentally. It puts
Mentally,
you
it
in
does.
a yeah, it puts you in a place that you don't want to be in, and it's
You don't
anger.
want to be there.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
to be there. And I don't know what advice can you give those? I mean, other than don't watch it. But
I
uh,
haven't seen it, so I can't speak to that video. I'm so sorry. I haven't seen it. I don't even know what you're talking about. I think now I'm connecting something I saw about on social media about men being able to come together and mourn the loss of someone. I don't know. I guess this is it.
well, the
This must be
situation
it.
happened
So
last week, yeah, where a young man was gunned down in Georgia. They
In
didn't bring the
February.
people, yeah, the people accountable. And today, was it today or yesterday? The video was linked. They've been had the video, and our black race, women, men, and not just our black race. I'm sure others are just are hurting. You know, um, and it happens a lot, not just with him. It happens with so many injustice. Things that may happen with Trayvon Martin. It's sort of like a
yeah.
Trayvon Martin case. You
Yes.
know, um,
Yeah,
it's
a
like
25-year-old
everything
man.
that's. Go ahead.
Oh, just a 25-year-old man jogging in his neighborhood, much like Trayvon Martin, who was walking in his own neighborhood. Excuse me. Was it
25
was
years old.
25-year-old? He was jogging, and he was approached by a father and son. The father is a retired police officer. They both had firearms and were trying to do a citizen's arrest because there had been break-ins in the neighborhood. Of course, the young man resisted, and in his resistance was gunned down in the street. There was a car behind the father-son car that recorded the entire interaction, and that video was released today. This actually happened 2 months ago, and no charges were filed. So it wasn't until an uproar was had, petitions are signed, that now they're bringing in the FBI to do an independent investigation, because apparently this police station has had a number of run-ins and had decided not to prosecute the father or the son.
Got it.
So
Yeah,
it is a hard video to watch. I've seen it. I haven't. I'm sorry. I've seen the video circulating, but I have not watched it because
it's
I know
very
for
sensitive
my
because
it
yeah,
is for my
yeah.
mental health. I know I can't be quarantined and watch that because there's no outlet for me. Um,
No.
so I would hold that, and I can't hold that right now and still run after 3-year-old twins. So
Right.
I have to sign the petition and let people know that I agree with them, but I can't see it. So
So
it's
you have
also
to make
really
a
good to
healthy
know.
decision to protect your mental health.
Yes, it's great in knowing your boundaries.
Yes.
So I know for me, my boundary is that I can't watch that at this time, but it is still an injustice that I won't be silent to,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
something should be done. Something
Yeah.
should have been done. But it creates a whole avalanche of thoughts on my Black father, my Black brother, my Black husband, my Black son. Um, and if I am silent on it, am I doing an injustice to him in the future, or to one of them in the future if it were them on the video? So that was
Mm-hmm.
my first thought when I saw it, but I knew from my boundaries that I couldn't watch it.
Whew.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, and I agree because right now the mental state of a lot of men, you know,
they're in
you don't
war.
want to
They
get
got
into that
fight.
place, just like you said,
Hmm.
Teresa, that place of anger, or now when you see other people are going out, doing things, or stuff like that. I just,
Yeah.
just be careful. Just know where you are, and just where your mind is. I'm talking about, and allow the justice system to handle things and take place.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
So, guys, also there's a little hot topic. I think it's either tonight or tomorrow. I gotta look at my Instagram. They call it verses now. You guys been seeing that?
Mhm.
Like battle verses and stuff. They had the Teddy Riley and the
Oh yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah.
And
who was it? Teddy
Babyface,
Teddy Riley and
yeah,
Babyface. I love that one.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
and then they had John P. Key
Verses.
and Hezekiah Walker.
Jumpy Kid has got. I think I'm for Jumpy.
Okay.
Hezekiah Walker. So
Uh-huh.
I think it's tomorrow. There is Erica Badu and
And
Jill
Jill
Scott.
Scott.
Who
Uh-huh.
y'all got?
It's the ninth.
It's the ninth, so it's not tomorrow. That's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
The
7,
ninth is
8,
Sunday, right?
9.
The ninth is Friday.
That's
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. Look at me. I'm acting
Saturday.
like
Okay.
I'm
It's
5 years
Sat.
old.
Get excited.
Saturday.
It's Saturday.
So
Listen.
Saturday night. Oh God, I don't know who told me it was tonight. So
That's what's
who do you
happening.
guys
So
have? I'm just interested to know. Who do you think will win? Who has the best catalog of music?
I don't want to
Tarisha.
do that. I really don't want to do that, but I love Erica Badu. I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do. And I love Jill Scott, but Erica Badu, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm
You
gonna
gotta have one
I'm
winner.
bowing
It's all
out.
I tell
I'm bowing
people
out.
when my daughter plays sports, and I'm real with sports. Listen, it's one
It's
winner. I'm
only
not
one.
everybody
Mhm.
not getting no trophy.
See, I don't know, because for the life of me, I can only think of a couple of songs that I like from either one of them.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. Okay.
So, but
My
my first thing that comes to mind to me is Erica Badu.
Erica
okay.
Badu. I love
Style,
Erica
all her
too.
moves and yeah.
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 Mine would be Jill
Yeah.
Scott. I like Jill Scott. I like her flavor. I like her different variety. I just,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think her songs are different stages. Both of them are different stages in their life, definitely, and
Yeah.
they very transparent. But for me, I think it'll be the Jill Scott. I like the way she moves. I love that type of genre
Yeah.
from her. So, and they both are great women. I
Hmm.
think I'm like, I don't know if it hurts people when they go against each other, or is it like a motivation? You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh-huh.
Tasha, your therapist. Me and you gonna go against each other. What clients we have, or like,
You
will
know
it
Hey,
what
hurt
it
us
means you
or will it,
bring your
make us
best.
better?
believe it or not, it shouldn't be, but in everything it appears to be a challenge. In everything.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
shouldn't be. You're supposed to be professional, you're supposed to be a musician, you're supposed to be a doctor, a lawyer, but everyone's going for the best somehow.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what that is about. But believe it or not, I always tell people teamwork make the dream work.
Here you go.
yeah,
That's what makes the dream work. But
Uh-huh.
if you want to stand alone, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Teamwork. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here with the Table Talk radio show. Those who are listening, we are here on Mondays at 7 o'clock. Even though today is Wednesday, we had an exception. Miss Alexander wasn't available for Monday, but she was available on today on Wednesday. And, we're going to do this again. I know it's for the entire month. So there's so many different things that you can talk about when it comes to mental health. We didn't get deep into it, but relationships. I do a podcast, Relationship 204. And, I always say to honey, the mind is a terrible thing to lose, especially when it comes to relationships.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Especially when it
Absolutely.
comes, because we'll let our mind go for a relationship. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but we will.
Help
Lose
us,
your
Lord.
whole identity. It'll be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Out the
Yeah.
window. That's not me. I'll be what you want me to be.
Oh, Lord. Help us.
Yeah, so I mean, some of us been there, done that, but we survive. We survive. But yeah, so guys, check us back here on Monday at 7 o'clock. Myself, Tarisha. We also have another co-host, Nathan. This is his day that he does his podcast on Wednesday, so that's why you don't see him. I just realized that. He was trying to do two at once, but just do what you gotta do, bro. You all good. You good with
That's
us.
right.
Yeah. So you want to give some information out, Tasha, in regards to your business and how
Yes.
they can contact you?
Okay. In regards to my business, my name is, of course, Lathosha Alexander. I am a licensed mental health professional. I have a practice in Miramar, Florida, and I see individuals, couples, and teenagers, not children, in my practice. You can follow me on Instagram at Healthy Minds, Healthy Hearts. Yep. And then you can also follow me on Facebook at Healthy Minds, Healthy Hearts. My website and all of that information is also on my Instagram and Facebook. And I can be reached at 954-225-4148. Again, that number is 954-225-4148. Thank you.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Yeah, you guys can reach out. And remember, there's nothing wrong with speaking to someone. If it's not a friend, there's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and contacting a therapist and so forth to get yourself help. It's a healthy thing,
It's a
and
healthy
I'm
thing.
glad that you have that as your business, healthy, to
Healthy,
let
right?
people know.
Yeah, I always tell my clients one of the things I want to leave you guys with is look at your therapist's office as your safe place to dump. We are bound by the law to not be able to repeat, discuss, share any of your information. So when you come in my office, that's your secret diary. You can just dump. Like if you don't want to do anything else, you just want to talk about it. You want to dump, you can dump. Just look at that, go to your therapist's office and dump. Like dump all those problems out so you can get ready to fill up again and push through life. Because when we carry all of those things and we don't talk about them and we don't trust anyone to dump them out on, then we're stuck. We become bound and depressed. And depression is real. You don't want to stay in that place.
Right, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Yeah,
All
thank you
right.
so much for joining us, guys. I just want to let you see the face of this young man here, and also I want to leave you with this song. It's a beautiful song. It's by an artist. Her name is Sela, and the name of the song is "You Are Enough." Um, let me see if I can play this here. Yeah, look, I ain't all that techno savvy, but I try. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys have a great night.
You too.
Good night.